Let me paint you a picture. It's the night before your exam. Your notes are open. Your highlighter is ready. You look focused. You feel focused. But 3 hours later, you've reread the same page 6 times, highlighted literally everything, and retained absolutely nothing. Sound familiar? Here's what nobody tells you. The problem isn't that you're lazy. The problem isn't that you're not smart enough. The problem is that you're studying using a system designed to waste your time. And today that changes. Because in the next few minutes, I'm going to show you a studying method so fast, so brutally efficient, that once you use it, you will never go back to your old habits again. Students who have used this exact system have cut their study time in half while scoring higher than people who studied twice as long. This isn't motivation talk. This is brain science, and it feels almost illegal how well it works. Let's get into it. Section 1. The real problem. First, you need to understand why traditional studying is basically a scam. Your teachers told you to read, highlight, reread, and repeat. Sounds logical, right? Wrong, dead wrong. Research from Princeton and UCLA shows that highlighting and rereading are among the least effective study methods ever tested. Like bottom of the list, they create something called the fluency illusion. Your brain sees familiar words, thinks, "Oh yeah, I know this," and moves on feeling confident. But when the exam comes, blank. You didn't learn it, you just saw it. So everything you've been doing, the color-coded notes, the 3-hour passive reading sessions, the pretty summaries you never look at again, it's been burning your time and giving you almost nothing back. But here's the good news. Your brain is actually a learning machine. It's powerful beyond what you can imagine. You've just been using it wrong, so let's use it right. Section 2. The Fast Study System. Here's the exact system, step by step, science-backed, zero fluff. Step 1. The 15-minute laser lock. Here's the first truth about your brain. It doesn't do marathon sessions. It does sprints. Your prefrontal cortex, the part that handles focus and learning, starts dropping off hard after about 20 to 25 minutes of intense concentration. After that, you're basically a zombie staring at a textbook. You feel like you're studying. You're not. So here's what you do instead. Set a timer for 15 minutes. One topic only. No switching. No checking your phone. No just one sip of water breaks. Pure locked-in focus for 15 minutes. When the timer goes off, take a 5-minute break. Walk around, stretch, stare at the wall, then come back for another 15. That's it. 2 15-minute blocks equals 30 minutes of study that beats 2 hours of passive reading. Every single time. Bonus hack. Tell yourself before each block, I only have 15 minutes. Your brain will shift into urgency mode automatically. Urgency creates focus. Focus creates speed. Step 2. The recall bomb. This is the single most powerful study technique known to neuroscience, and almost nobody uses it. It's called active recall, and here's how it works. Instead of reading your notes again, you close them. You close everything, and you try to remember what you just studied, from scratch, with zero help. It feels uncomfortable. It feels like you're failing. That's exactly why it works. Every time your brain struggles to pull out information, it strengthens the neural pathway to that memory. Scientists call it the testing effect. Your brain literally builds stronger connections to information it has to fight to retrieve. So here's your new study loop. Read a section, close the book, write down or say out loud everything you remember, then open the book and check what you missed, then repeat. Do that 3 times and that information is burned into your long-term memory, not just for tomorrow's exam, for weeks. Bonus hack. Use the blurting technique. After each topic, grab a blank paper and blurt out everything you know without looking. Whatever gaps appear, those are your weak spots. That's where your next 15 minutes goes. Targeted, efficient, surgical. Step 3. Teach it to a 5-year-old. Richard Feynman was one of the greatest physicists who ever lived. Nobel Prize winner, genius-level intellect, and his number one learning rule was embarrassingly simple. If you can't explain it simply, you don't understand it yet. So here's what you're going to do. After studying any concept, explain it out loud like you're talking to a 10-year-old. No jargon, no textbook language, pure simple English. Can't do it? Perfect. That's your brain telling you exactly where the gap is. Go back, relearn that part, then try again. This method forces deep processing. Your brain can't fake understanding when it has to generate original explanations. You move from surface memory to actual comprehension. And comprehension is what gets you through questions you've never seen before, not memorization. Bonus hack: teach it to a real person if you can. A friend, a sibling, even your pet. The moment you say it out loud to another human, your brain activates a completely different level of processing. Your retention goes through the roof. Step 4. The 80-20 attack. Pay attention to this one, because this alone will save you hours every single week. Pareto's law says 20% of your input creates 80% of your output, and it applies perfectly to studying. In every subject, there are 5 to 10 core concepts that show up again and again. In every exam, those same concepts are tested in most of the questions. Everything else is detail, background noise. So here's your move. Before you study anything, do a 5-minute audit. Look at past papers. Check your syllabus. Ask yourself, what keeps appearing? What does my teacher emphasize every class? What are the foundational ideas everything else is built on? Write those down. That's your 20%. That's where 80% of your study time goes. You stop trying to cover everything. You stop panicking about the one random chapter you haven't touched. You become strategic. You become dangerous. Most students study wide, you study deep, and deep always wins. Step 5. The memory glue technique. Here's something your school never taught you. Your brain doesn't remember information. It remembers experiences. Think about it. You can't remember what you had for lunch 3 Tuesdays ago, but you remember exactly where you were when something shocking or emotional happened. That's because your amygdala, the emotional center of your brain, acts like memory glue. The more emotion, sensation, or story attached to information, the stronger the memory. So here's how you hack that. When you're learning something dry and boring, attach it to something wild. Turn a formula into a ridiculous story. Turn a historical date into a meme you'd actually laugh at. Link a biology concept to something that happened to you personally. The weirder the better. Your brain loves weird. Weird is memorable. Bonus hack: change your study location occasionally. Your brain links memories to environments. Studying the same content in 2 different places creates 2 separate memory anchors for the same information. Double the recall with 0 extra effort. Step 6. The night before nuclear option. You've been studying all week. Now it's the night before the exam, and everyone around you is panicking and rereading entire textbooks. You're not going to do that. Here's what you do instead. Spend 30 minutes only reviewing your weak spots, the things you blurted wrong, the concepts you couldn't explain simply, the 20% you flagged as shaky. Then stop. Close everything by 10 p.m. Get 7 to 8 hours of sleep, non-negotiable. Here's the science. Your brain consolidates and stores everything it learned during the day while you sleep, specifically during deep sleep and REM cycles. If you pull an all-nighter, you are literally erasing the memory consolidation process. Students who sleep 7 to 8 hours before an exam consistently outperform students who stayed up studying. Not slightly, significantly. Sleep is not laziness. Sleep is the final step of studying. It's where the learning actually locks in. Advanced hacks section. All right, you've got the core system. Now let me give you the advanced level moves. The Pomodoro kill switch. Standard Pomodoro is 25 minutes on, 5 minutes off. But for maximum efficiency, try 15 on, 5 off for complex material and 50 on, 10 off for lighter review sessions. Match the interval to the difficulty. Your brain will stay sharp much longer. The background sound hack. Dead silence isn't always optimal. Low-level ambient noise, think coffee shop sounds or brown noise at around 70 decibels, has been shown to boost creative thinking and sustained focus. Try it on YouTube or apps like Brain FM. Don't use music with lyrics. Your brain will follow the words instead of your notes. The physical anchor. Before you start studying, do 10 to 15 minutes of light movement, a short walk, some jumping jacks, anything that raises your heart rate slightly. This releases BDNF, brain-derived neurotrophic factor, which scientists literally call miracle grow for the brain. It increases the rate at which your neurons form new connections. You learn faster after movement. Full stop. The morning priority stack. Your willpower and cognitive sharpness are highest in the first 2 to 3 hours after waking up. That window is gold. Use it for your hardest, most important study material. Leave easy review and light reading for the afternoon or evening. Stop saving your best hours for scrolling. Mindset shift. Now here's the real talk moment, because all the hacks in the world won't work without this. Studying fast isn't about being superhuman. It's about being intentional. The students who struggle aren't struggling because they're not smart. They're struggling because they sit down with no plan, no time limit, no strategy, and just hope information somehow enters their brain through osmosis. That's not studying, that's performance. You look like you're working, you're not. Real studying is uncomfortable. Active recall feels hard. Teaching out loud feels embarrassing. Doing past papers before you feel ready feels scary. That discomfort is the feeling of your brain actually growing. Chase that feeling, not the comfort of highlighting things you already know. You have the same 24 hours as every top student who ever existed. The difference is never time. It's always method. Outro and CTA. So here's your new system. Write this down. 15-minute laser lock sprints with 5-minute breaks. Active recall after every single topic. Teach it out loud like you're explaining to a 10-year-old. Apply the 80-20 rule and study what actually matters. Use memory glue, stories, emotion, weird associations. Sleep 7 to 8 hours the night before. That's your unfair advantage. Pick one of these today. Just one. Try it in your next study session and drop a comment below telling me which one hit different for you. I read every single one. And if this video just changed how you think about studying, smash that like button because it helps more students find this and escape the broken study system they've been trapped in. Subscribe because next week we're going deep on how to fix your focus when your brain absolutely refuses to concentrate. That one is going to be a game changer. Now close this video, open your notes, and go make studying feel illegal. Let's go.